Alright guys, before we get this video going, very quick rant because I want this information to be 100% factual for everybody to get into the VE platform. So online I've been seeing a lot of stuff about P-pump folk telling people that their VE can't make 400 or 500 horsepower and they need to get rid of their VE. Well, this truck is a perfect example. This is a completely stock, long block, in a 93 truck. No head, no cam, nothing fancy. This is literally a 12 millimeter Ratman Performance VE pump, one of the best thing money can buy for this platform, and it's got a set of infinite performance injectors. That is the secret. There is no VE secrets anymore. That is the secret. Spend your money very wisely. If you don't, you will get poor results, just like we've seen for the past 20 years. So let Colts truck be an example. This stuff's easy. We're going to smack a good number, and it was done very, I don't know how you would say this, cost effective. That's the word. So if you guys have any questions, comment them. Let's hop into this video. You should love it. Oh, and P.S. To any of the OGs that watch this video, or just heard what I said, I'm not talking about you. Brian Block, Eric, Jeremy, Jason, not referring to any of you guys whenever you guys have gotten results. But for the rest of the guys out there, I'm talking about them. Alright guys, so we are back on the dyno, and we have Colts truck here today, which you guys may have saw if you watched the Battle of the VE. This is a sled pull truck from the state of Kentucky. And Colt has came back up because there's been some changes to the truck. So he went from a Scheid pump to a Ratman pump from Evan, and he also has a set of Weston's 5x18s from Infinite Performance. It did have a set of 5x18s from THD. So we're gonna see what it'll do. It did 461 on the dyno day, and what do you think? You think we can maybe get 600 out of it?
We'll see.
Hopefully,
we'll see what happens.
600 would be really cool, but this is a manual truck, so it's still a get rag. Like I said, it is a sled pulling truck. We still got the weights back here. It's pretty much what he uses the truck for nowadays. So we want to try and compete with common rails, and we're gonna see if we can't do it today.
Okay, so we adjusted the case pressure on the truck, and I did not record that as far as the run. We bumped it up some, and it went to 537, so we picked up 77 horsepower from that, and it changed the power curve completely. So here it is. We were making peak all the way out here, and now we're making it back here. So obviously we have changes for timing and wastegate now. This really should be the baseline, because everything we've done so far basically negates all of, I don't know, that negates all of it. So right now we are going to adjust it yet again and continue to monitor it. I had to swap on all of my stuff to Colt's truck to be able to monitor it, because the factory line is just kind of in the way and a pain with non-intercooled lines. So that's where we're at right now. We're going to adjust that, and then we're going to be able to adjust timing, and we're going to record what the max case pressure is at wide open throttle with the KSB on, because you got to be careful. Too much case pressure can wreck the pump completely, but there is that fine line, the happy medium, where the truck runs best.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Say that I'm very glad Colt came up. It was definitely worth our time. I did wish that we found more power, obviously, because I never want to stop trying to find it, but we picked up a lot, and that's going to make a difference on the sled pulling track. So to sum this up, here is the power curve comparison, and you guys can see I started the runs later in the, after a certain amount of pulls, I starting the run later, so you run it out longer without having like a 7-second dyno pull. So we kept it around that 3.8 second range. But it would have been no problem for me to continue to start here. The truck had great manners. It would come to life at 2,000, no problem. It would have came to life at 1,800, no problem. That we were making at 3,150, we're making over 100 horsepower more, probably about 120 horsepower more. And his usable horsepower for sled pulling is, he says at the end of the track it might get down to 2,900, but most of the time 3,000 to 3,500. And there's a considerable power difference there that he's going to be able to use, and hopefully be able to keep up with some of the common rails in his class. Hopefully I'll get some videos sent to me over the summer of him doing some good stuff. But 537 is where we left off. We could not squeeze any more out of it. I don't know what I think is the holdback right now. Alright guys, so we're going to do some couch reflections with Gavin. So it's been a couple days. I've got to, you know, sit and think about this last Saturday night with Colt, and I don't know, there were some things I didn't do that I wish I would have done, and just not the way I would normally do things, I guess. It's really hard for me to say that that was all there was left in that truck, because I'm not so sure that it was. Obviously the big challenge is the 145 bowls, the 145 pistons. They're just kind of a challenge. Can't throw a ton of timing at them, and I don't know what was left there. After we had adjusted the case pressure, what I should have done was pull the pump all the way back away from the head. As you guys know, it was skipped a tooth, but I should have pulled it all the way back and started over from ground zero, basically. That's really what I should have done, and then worked up from there and seen where it liked it best, where it carried power best. I do think that I probably wasn't far off from where it needed to be, but yeah, that was another thing. And another thing that I forget about is I forget that with single turbos the recovery time is a lot slower. The heat soak takes full effect. Really all we did at the end to get that 537 run, because we were down in the low 520s, 518, somewhere around there, like talking a 20 horsepower difference. The only thing different from that run is we put the fans on the truck and let it cool back down, and it clicked off within 2 horsepower of what it was before. And that whole time I thought we had lost power from some adjustment we'd made. So again, that was like 20 horsepower difference. That's one thing that I always forget about the stock appearing stuff and single turbo stuff. Recovery time with the heat soak is a lot longer. You really got to get the fans on it, because if I make an adjustment, a small timing adjustment, and that changes 20 horsepower, and it's actually because of heat soak, not a timing adjustment, I am quite literally just wasting my time, and it just makes it tough, especially with no data logger. Like, I have no proof of anything to see. We were videoing the gauges, but like I was saying, wastegate adjustments was not changing pressures. It would bring down drive, but if it brought down drive, it would bring down boost, and it would usually lose power. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about the stock head. I don't know how I feel about mainly the pistons. That's what was really... I have a lot more experience with 155 pistons, and obviously I'm going to gain more experience with the 145s, since that's what's in my truck right now, and we're going to do a bunch of testing there. But that pretty much kind of sums up how I feel about Colt's truck. I mean, way out in the RPM range where he's going to be pulling, God, we picked up ridiculous amounts of horsepower for just a night in the shop, basically. I would say it was money well spent for him. My 2 cents to anybody is spend money on the dyno, because it will yield good results if you know what you're doing. Luckily, we managed to make something happen before we realized that we need to put the case pressure stuff on to check that. We were bumping timing all over the place, and it was not changing anything except for the last like 200 RPM of the run, and it started to ramp up, and there was a little bit of confusion, a little bit of a learning curve, as it had a little bit different manners than my truck did. So we got that all straightened out. But again, a lot of those power changes are going to come with the timing advance and how you manipulate it. So with that being said, I don't know. I mean, it was a good night. I just wanted to reflect on it a little bit after a couple days to see what I really thought, see if I had any light bulb moments, because some days after I sit for a while and think on it, I'll be like, man, that was the problem, and I should have just known. But really, everything was there, and no problems with the truck. It ran well. Alright, with all that being said, I appreciate you guys being here and supporting the channel. We got yet another first gen over 500 horsepower somewhat easily. Didn't take that much as far as parts go. Your stock long block can get there, just know that. So hopefully this will help some of you guys out that are wanting that 500 horsepower first gen or VE truck. Either way, happy to help. And until next time, definitely hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications for whenever I am posting, because I am posting quite often these days, so don't miss them. But till next time, peace out. See you later. Keep kicking it old school. Bye, guys.